Welcome to the Rockhound Podcast. It's so good to see you this evening, and we'd love to know where you're viewing from. A warm welcome to you. We have some ugly subjects today, but first, let's find out who else is here in the room. Hey, who are you this week?
I am Ed, connoisseur of ugly stones.
Indeed, and welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
It's timely. We're going to do ugly tonight.
Yes.
How about you, Kurt?
My name is Kurt. I've called myself Dirt before, so it's just kind of ugly. But my name's Kurt with Rock.Hounding.Adventures out here in Western Colorado.
Kurt in the dirt. All right, welcome.
Yeah.
That's
used
dirty
to,
and ugly.
back a long time ago, before I could like fully talk, I couldn't pronounce K's, so I would just call myself Dirt.
Oh.
That was prophetic. You didn't know then what you'd be doing in the future.
I know, right?
Prophetic and positive.
Yes.
Like dirt in a good way.
It's prophetic, not pathetic.
Right. Right on. Well, again, here we are, and thank you for being here. We're going to start off with the shouts, and I'm going to start the shouts out with the sad news of the passing of one of our dear friends, Jared Cliff Walker, Rockhounding. And so I figured this clip kind of embodies the straightforward but totally inspired nature that you guys will all remember him for. So roll it.
That was the most ignorant agate in the history of ignorant agates. But look at the size of this lump of yum. Oh.
And it's good to hear his voice. We invite you to share your memories and feelings in the chat and in the comments if you'd like to. And do you guys have something to say you'd like to say?
He would always crack me up with his random jokes down there in the chat on the podcast, and also just on Facebook when we were chatting. He was a pretty funny guy.
Yeah,
Dude,
he was.
I'm gonna miss Jared in chat so freaking much. Like the random nonsensical references that I would make, and Jared like is the only person that's like, I'm right there with you.
Right?
I loved vibing with Jared, man.
He was a good riffer.
Just heartbreaking.
He always had a riff for you.
I had to pop in because I did have a little side comment too. I believe he is the one that gave me the nickname of Smaug, because
I think he was.
So, that name's gonna have to be memorialized. So I am now, I guess, Smaug, Kyle, World of Rock.
Wild Smaug, Kyle. Yes. Yeah. He definitely had a way with vernacular, and I loved how he would like do a one-word comment for days on the chat. Yeah, he had a great way about him. Very, very straightforward. We're going to miss having new content, so go check out his channel and enjoy, the warmth of his personality that exuded straight through. And so we send our condolences to the family and friends, of course. And we'll remember you climbing the volcano and finding the pretties and talking to forest animals and dangling from a high precipice in every episode. Was he gonna fall? But especially your awe and inspiration for the world around you. And so I offer a toast to Jared, and thank you for everything, brother. Kanpai. Cheers. Prost. All right. And then I would like to thank Theo and myself for being on the show last week.
We are pretty great.
You guys are going to have to come back. It was so much fun. I'm now trying to look for my notes
My
for that.
pal.
Okay. The shouts. Blind Squirrel Rocks had a lot of fun. And she was all in for an ugly rock show contest. So Dustin Finds Rocks was getting ready for his Hollywood weekend there at the Haunted Ridge. And so we're going to have him back on so that we get to hear about how amazing it was with Wild Kyle and some other interesting guests, I'm sure. So Lisa Largent had a fun tangenty time. How could she possibly have had a tangenty time with me and Theo?
Not with us two. We're pretty straight-laced, you and I don't know.
Right? Succinct and always to the point.
Yeah,
We're so
exactly.
different, you and I.
City Rockhounding dug it. Julia McKenna, Dustin Finds Rocks again. Kyla Abiglin again had some wonderful comments. You got to go check those out. Ellison Mineral Land was laughing, and she has solidarity with you, Theo, on the wind thing.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone with my irrational hatred of wind.
Alice is there with you, and so too is Jody Brown. 100% with Theo on the hatred of wind.
Yes.
And so she's from Tushy, Washington, and with a name like Tushy, of course there'd be wind. Sorry.
What?
Kyle, like right when Kyle leaves.
Like I have my mic is muted, and I was starting to say stuff out loud. I'm like, why? I'm muted. Wait, why would what?
Just checking if you're still listening.
And so yeah, I think that like, and with that's pretty much the shouts. Of course, everybody's still enjoying themselves in the chat, and hey to you, and hey to everybody over on the Discord. And that be that. So how was your week, Kurt?
My week has been good. We've been getting out on some really nice fall hikes and seeing the fall colors. And we found some pretty ugly rocks that you guys will see later. And we're probably going to be getting out again in the next couple of days and going back out to a couple of spots that we found.
Are they ugly spots?
There's a lot of ugly rocks there in those spots. The colors are pretty.
Ugly rocks and beautiful spots.
Yes. And pretty much we've just been going out on hikes. I haven't really had much time to do much lapidary stuff, but plan on changing that in the next couple days. I needed to cut some stuff up, and you guys will see what I'm cutting up in the next two videos, I think. But yeah, just getting out on fall hikes, doing a little bit of rock hounding, and enjoying the nature.
Awesome. There's so much nature out there.
Oh, there it is.
There's...
The best place is getting lost in it. Like literally lost.
It's shocking how much nature is outside.
Yes, there's so much nature outside.
It's weird.
Just when the sun goes down, make sure you have flashlights, because it gets a little bit creepy when you're out there in the middle of nature.
They're in Sasquatch territory.
What?
I said, especially there in Sasquatch territory.
Yeah.
You better believe it. All right. Is that pretty much the sum of your weakness?
Yeah.
Right
my
on.
weakness.
Have you got a weakness? Okay.
Darkness is my weakness.
How about you, Ed Connoisseur?
Week has been pretty average, which means busy at this point, but less manic busy than normal, so that's a plus. I've been getting a whole bunch of stuff organized and pictures taken and stuff, because I'm going to be running a sale on my store. Hopefully by the end of the month. Might just hold off and do it in November. Hoping to get that done sooner than later. But other than that, I released a video on my second channel last week of power tool pumpkin carving, which was a lot of fun.
You know you're having a good time.
Yeah. When you're doing pumpkin carving with an angle grinder, a die grinder, and a rotary tool, it's gonna be fun. It's a good day.
You know you want to see this.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We made the Balrog, so that was pretty cool. Other than that, I have been working on the next video for the second channel, which is way more time consuming than I had originally planned it being, but
can you reveal anything about that, or is it all secret?
I'm posting it on Halloween, so you can expect spooky, but it's more lighthearted spooky because I realized that all of my videos except for the waterfall have been like grotesque demon monsters. So I'm like, man, we got to make something like warm and fuzzy.
Right. And a waterfall.
Yeah, exactly. Got like ghost demon, and then you have like the Demogorgon, which is this grotesque monster, and then the Balrog in a pumpkin, and then this random fairy waterfall. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, we should probably like do something a little light for Halloween. I know it's like spook month and all, but we should probably just let everyone know. I promise this isn't just like going to be every video. It won't all be scary,
channel.
horrible monsters. Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
Halloween spooky, but lighthearted spooky.
Cool.
Other than
Looking forward
that is my week, I think.
Well, real quick, your carvings are off the chart, like awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
So-
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the Bell Rock one. That one was really
I
cool.
was so happy with that one. That came out great.
Right on. That did definitely.
I was going to actually do something different, also Lord of the Rings related, and I decided no, I didn't want to do that on a pumpkin. We're going to do that justice with a much bigger project later this year. Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be awesome. Mm-hmm.
more not so spoiled spoilers.
Right.
Well, was that your week then?
Yes, it was.
All right. Yeah, that doesn't sound so painful.
It wasn't as bad as most weeks have been this year.
Yeah. What is up with this year, man?
Dude, 2022 has been madness.
Total madness. Yeah, I feel like I've been downhill skateboarding this whole time. You know, like with the speed wobbles going.
Yeah. Mine's more of a Segway, so I can't go too fast. I'll just fall on my face.
Segway.
Wait, it's just a perfect segue into how was your week, Karen?
Yeah.
Nice one.
Right.
Nailed it.
So we have a duck killer on the loose here. So I lost 2 ducks. That was terrible.
no.
Paperwork's
Oh,
been
no.
yeah.
Sorry.
It's they call it like chicken math or duck math or poultry math. Like you're always like having the multiplication and then the subtraction. And so it's a bummer. And we still haven't caught the criminal yet, but game cam's up. And
Do you know what it is?
no, it's definitely a larger animal, and it came in broad daylight for the second one.
Oh wow.
So that one's rough. Yeah, it's it's one thing when you're having like night raids and you just didn't get that out there to like shut the door in time or something like that. But when
What
they
else
get
do you have out there?
what's that?
What large animals do you have out there?
It's interesting. We're on the wrong side of 101 for large animals, you would think,
Yeah.
but of course we have coyotes. Bears can come to this side, and we have had cougars like in our neighborhood. And so
that rules out seal then.
it was a rabid mangy, but
it's just a mountain lion or not a mountain lion, sea lion.
Pelican.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just see one of the
Pelicans are
ducks in
mean
its-
though.
Yeah, I know, in the big flapper thing, like
Oh, God.
in its gullet,
Oh,
I can laugh about it.
I was gonna say I'm not trying to poke fun at. I'm just trying to. I'm not good with sad, so I always have to like try to like make
I laugh
jokes
it
because
off
it makes me
myself.
less uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's how I deal with sadness. Is just okay. Well, here's a joke. Don't look at me crying.
Yeah. I'm biting my tongue. Go off. Yeah. But yeah, so just to answer your question, I think it's a raccoon or maybe a bobcat. just because like they had to get over a paddock fence, and then they took it without any trace.
Probably raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys, especially if there were a few of them, and I've caught 4 of them on the roof of we have like an aviary, and then we actually have like a total lockdown brink style hen house, and the aviary is all wire. And so I went out there one night and the dogs were going crazy, and I was like, I'm gonna catch you. And sure enough, there were like 4 sets of glowing eyes on the roof of the aviary, and so we busted the raccoons before. We just used some of those humane traps, and took them on
They're
a long.
smart, but not that smart when it comes to traps.
Yeah, they're smart and hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like the monkey trap or whatever. And so it'll I've been dealing also with I have been running a sale because I wanted to get some parts for my Facetron that I got, only to find out that the Facetron business has gone out of business.
Oh no.
At the same time as when I was getting the machine. And so
that hurts.
And that was a rumor. And then, come to find though that people aren't being able to get their service done and all that kind of stuff. And so definitely a thing. And now the rumor is though that they're getting bought and that they'll be back into manufacturing new parts and being able to do service and that sort of thing next year. And so it's just a rumor, but I'll share it here because it seems to be all over the socials anyway. And so I'm feeling a little lighter about it, but right now I'm trying to scrapple around with like people who have a couple of pieces of this and a couple pieces of that. And because Theo and y'all know how badly I want to get this machine.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be torture to have it sitting there and not be able to acquire the stuff to actually use it. Like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah, you notice it hasn't joined me in here yet because I can't use it, and it would just be like
laughing at you. Yeah, exactly. Might as well just put a Jason mask on it because it's just sitting there in the back threatening you at all times.
Yes, that's pretty much the thing. Like that I want to creep in the middle of the night and play with it.
What all do you need still for it?
Well, I actually thanks to all of our communities out there are so golden, and a few people in the faceting community, which is niche even in the rock community.
It's a niche within a niche.
Right. And so a few people messaged me and said like, I have these 2 DOPs, or I have a set of this, size, because you need a flat and a V and a cone at the very least. You don't necessarily need the V, but like, just for a couple different shapes, you kind of need, a set of each size. And so
the V becomes very necessary when you start like branching out into different patterns. Like you can't do certain stuff without the V. The V is important, but yeah, you need like base minimum is the cone and flat. Actually, I'd say you could probably get away with just cone, but that cone is essential. Like you can't do a faceted stone without at least the cone.
Yeah.
Because you can use the cone flat as a like well for the adhesive or whatever you go with. So
yeah, like if you're using wax, you can kind of like build it up.
Yeah, you can make the cone a flat, but you literally can't do a crown without a cone.
Right. And so at any rate, I thank you. You know who you are out there, who have not only helped by just getting something from the sale, but also those of you that sent me stuff. Like I have a few things, and so like the plays is soon to commence. And I ran into a viewer at the grocery store who overheard me talking to the sushi people and was like, oh, "Are you?" And she's like, I heard you from behind, and like I knew it was you. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So that was a weird occurrence.
That's funny.
Yeah, and
they recognize your voice.
Yeah, my back was turned to the person, and I was chatting with the sushi people at the sushi counter, and she was just like, "Hey, are you?" And so, but yeah, my voice. I'm like, it wasn't the ponytail. Like I always anyway. We've got uglies coming up, and so I've got a short that's dropping soon, and then a long long video that's dropping hopefully sometime this weekend. I always say that. And you're gonna see that as part of our ugly discussion. So I think that this is a good time for us to get on with the uglies, guys.
Yeah, we tangented again.
I know, we're so sorry.
What are we gonna do about us?
We need a tangent like money jar or something.
I know.
$1 for every minute that we go on a tangent.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, and you can start the egg timer. You're like, that's $1 you gotta send.
Sorry, Mr. Editor Man.
Hey, Kurt, you want to go first with ugly?
Sure. Are we gonna do like should I do all three of mine or
yeah, let's just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
So
Purge.
the first ugly is this ugly brown rock. It's actually kind of an orangish brown. It kind of goes with the fall colors here in that area. So like this is when I found that when we were out on the fall drive. And it had a lot of holes in it like basalt does, which I'm pretty sure formed in with the basalt since the area it was covered with basalt. But we'll check out more what this is on one of my future videos in the next week or two. But
cliffhanger.
Yeah, so this is a very ugly brown rock on the outside. And the next one is basalt. Basalt is very ugly. It's normally black, red, or brown, and just pitted with tons and tons of holes most of the time. But those holes could hold other minerals, which, like you can see whenever you cut it open, like galaxy stones, like Agate has shown a lot. So I'm hoping there's something cool on the inside. Again, this one will be on a future video coming up where I cut it open, because this one does have a lot of quartz pockets and calcite pockets, but the basalt itself is very ugly, but it does have some great because it has a lot of holes, you can put like essential oils in on the volcanic basalt pieces and then just have them sitting around, and it can help like freshen up your room or whatnot.
Awesome.
If that makes any sense.
Potpourri rock hack? What?
Ugly rock with beautiful scents.
Yeah, exactly. And then my last one, this one, I was going through my collection. This is a fossil, but when whenever I was looking to find like something to cut open, I thought this was like a piece of stromatolite, which is also a fossil, but this is actually a fossil coral from the Devonian era out there in Kentucky.
Good old Devon.
This river tumbled, very ugly. It's just straight gray. So I was watching one day, I think I was watching Agate Dad cutting open some like fossilized coral. And I was like, ooh, I wonder what this looks like on the inside. I wasn't expecting it to be all blue and pretty on the inside, but it's just black, gray. So very ugly, but it's still a fossil and it's still cool. So
moral of the story is sometimes you think it's ugly and it is.
Yeah. But it's hard to choose ugly rocks because like it's like,
dude, I struggled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like,
none of them are
I
ugly.
told Tessie, I'm gonna use this, and she was like, I can go in your collection and find an ugly rock. I was like, no, you can't.
You're like, it doesn't exist, madam.
It literally looks like a giant piece of chewing gum that somebody like spit out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
those are pretty ugly.
Those are my ugly show and tells.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Well, Ed, connoisseur.
Yes.
How about yours?
Sorry, I'm getting my phone out so that I can actually do this in order. Make Kyle's job a little bit easier.
Thank you.
All right. Scrolling. Sorry, one sec. Okay, so here's the first ugly rock. you look at
I
it,
can't. No.
my eyes.
What is that? Yeah.
This is just lumpy, shaly, just nothing really until you flip it over. And you've got a nice
that's
ammonite and a baculite and a clamshell,
What?
all just stacked up together. And there's another baculite on the backside. Actually, there's a lot of fossils on the backside.
You light.
That's
A
ugly.
baculite. Oh,
Oh no.
but yeah, I could. I'm sure I have some in my shop, but I think I should have had Alexis come in and pick rocks for today because I don't know. Everything I had actually out, I'm looking at it, I was like, yeah, it's ugly, but only on one side. Like on the inside, it's not ugly. Or maybe I'm just partial and I like my rocks too much because there's amazing things on the backside of ugly. Put that on a shirt.
Yes. On the
with
backside.
what you said, having Alexis pick your sons, we should do an episode where our partners pick our show and tells.
We should.
And
I
why
think
they
that's
That would be awesome.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Like
voice.
both, this is like what I feel like your best pieces and why the heck did you ever bring this one home?
Yeah.
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 And I know that Steve would have a lot of why the heck did I bring these ones home?
Alexis would too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disappear for 5 seconds. I noticing that my lens is dirty.
Oh. Are we also frozen in time?
Sure.
Yes.
Part of me wants to leave this.
You could. I mean, people are just chatting.
Da, da, da.
Yeah, you could put some music on.
I didn't actually write down the time. So what you guys aren't seeing on camera is me. I had some dead paper wasp in a plastic baggie, and I'm weighing them to see how much they weigh. Anyways, Ed's back.
It's
I'm
not
paused.
weird.
Oh, a day in the life of mild Kyle.
I know.
So what was the weight? Are you gonna just leave us hanging?
So out of curiosity,
I'm invested now.
So it turns out there's actually money in collecting wasps and hornets, send them off for companies to basically extract their venom for anti-venom,
Oh,
and
Interesting.
they pay by the pound depending on the species. And part of me is almost wanting to start a side business of collecting
A side hustle.
side hustle.
it is like the
Collecting
oddest side hustle ever. If you ever told somebody, they'd be
A
like,
Hymenoptera
Yeah.
side hustle. Like,
Well, so it's I forgot what was it. It's it can be upwards $600 per pound for yellow jackets
Wow.
and I think bald-faced hornets, but for European paper wasps, it can be way more. And
the paper wasps are
you're like,
gold.
the money's in the wasp, man.
yeah,
Screw Bitcoin.
I mean, if I read it correctly, it said $2,000 per pound. I'm like,
Wow.
let's see
I'm
how
gonna
much
write that down.
I know Kurt's on it, man.
I was just out there with wasp spray the other day.
Oh man, that's like burning money.
Oh my gosh. In the Steens, we walked by so many hives. I was pretty freaked out. There were just so many. You could make a killing.
I'd pick up that side hustle, but I'd have to do it a long, long way away from Alexis because she's super allergic.
Yeah.
hence why people need the venom to make the anti-venom.
Exactly.
Anyways, back to you.
I
guys.
don't think she'd appreciate that as much, getting stung. It's like, but I'm sending it to the people so that they can find a cure for you. And she's like, well, I keep getting stung while you
Yeah.
do that.
So
It's
what they
not
do
working.
is they use a special vacuum, and it has to be untreated, so you can't use poisons on the wasps. But they collect them, they freeze them, they sort them, so they send out the females. The females are the ones that sting, males don't. And from there, you don't have to pull the venom sacs out. The company does that. All you have to do is sort them and send them. And then,
I'm not pulling sacks.
no.
Not again.
No.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing off camera. Listening for those timestamps and sorting, counting, and weighing.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so I think it was you still doing your thing there.
Yes.
Theo.
I'm sorry, I'm so sidetracked now.
Yeah.
I want
Thanks,
to
Rocky.
see what that looks like, but
Right.
Same.
just have to
Awesome.
imagine.
I'll send you pictures of what I'm doing.
Okay.
It's not exciting.
Please.
It's not
Send
exciting right
down,
now.
down in the chat. on Messenger.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a lumpy, ugly rock. All right, so
Yes.
the next one. No, I'm kidding. Lumpy, ugly rock on one side, color bomb on the other.
Ooh,
That
yeah.
is a dry head agate, and
That's pretty.
I actually shouldn't. I should have probably grabbed an unpolished piece because it's mostly reflections.
Yeah,
But
but that's a nice polish.
you'll be looking at a picture of said rock right now. All right, so next ones I don't have physically, but because they're too small, I figure you wouldn't be able to see them with the zoom camera anyway. But if we're talking about ugly rocks, we have to take a look at my first attempt at faceting. And they're real ugly to me. So I think I actually sent them in order. I'm looking at them right now. So this one, that's going to be on screen right now. That's the very first stone I ever faceted. And I look back at it and I'm like, man, I was actually proud of that at one point. Now I'm like, oh.
You're not anymore?
No, not at all. No, that's a bad facet. That's a naughty.
It's like when we go
It
back
looks
and watch
nice to
our first
me.
videos.
Oh gosh, I can't even watch my early videos. And then I got a little more confidence after that first one. So I did this second one, which I did way more facets on. This actually looks halfway decent. All of the like angles are super wonky if you look close at it. Like none of them are like symmetrical, but it still looks good if you have your eyes squinted. And then after
You're
doing
not looking at it directly.
yeah. If you put a bag over your head and then look at it, it's pretty good actually. And then after doing 2 not very good stones, I was like, I'm ready for really challenging stuff, and I don't need patterns. So I then did an emerald cut without looking up a pattern, all just randomly playing around with stuff. And I actually, looking back at this, I don't know how on my third faceted stone, I don't know how I turned out such a good emerald cut. That's actually like really, really good.
Yeah, that doesn't
it has
comply
no right
with the
to
rules
be,
of ugly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it really has no right to be as good as it is. I just wanted to show it because it's those. I keep those 3 together because those were my first 3 attempts at fasting. But yeah, that emerald cut has no right to be as good as it is. Considering I didn't use a pattern, I just kind of like freewheeled it.
Yep, I would say that's transitional, not ugly.
Yeah. The first one definitely. Second one less, but still. Third one isn't ugly. I would actually use that one in jewelry. It's pretty good. All right, so next is this right here. And it's hideous. Look at it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's foul. And then you flip it over.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
Look at that flash.
Yeah, that's some good amylite right there.
Will you look at that?
Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to screenshot that.
Yeah,
that's
that's
hideous
gorgeous.
on this side. That's some good stuff.
What's crazy is that, you don't
hold
think
it right there. Okay. There we go.
You don't think that anything that you pick up off of the ground could have that on the other side of it, that like they
well,
can
actually,
be very deceiving.
there's an example right here, so you can see that color. I didn't point it out, but that white layer right there is actually what it looks like raw. Same with right here.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at this patch right here and this patch right here, if I were to work those, it would look. I just did a.
Yep, you did.
I literally was like, so if you look at the other side, it's the same size.
It's magic.
But yeah, those white patches, if you work them, they will look like this.
Oh wow. Very cool.
Amylite's awesome. I never get tired of amylite. There should be a video of it playing right now or earlier, depending on the editor's discretion. So what's next? This one. All right.
He's back.
You got
it's ugly.
Process.
It's big ugly lump rock. That's as big as my head. Actually, wow, like literally.
Yeah, it is.
Big ugly drab rock. And when I found it in a video, everyone was like, why the heck are you excited about that dark, ugly, boring thing? Well, here's the thing. This is actually Montana agate.
No way.
And when you find Montana agates this dark, there's no real knowing what it's going to look like on the inside. But I sent a picture of a very similar rock. We get excited when we find agates this dark because they usually look like this right here, this cut specimen.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh. Usually
Beautiful.
the darker it is, you get those really nice root beer bands and pockets, and oh man,
Lots of contrast.
yeah, like, oh, they're so pretty. I really want to cut this, but it's actually the biggest Montana agate I've ever found at 10 pounds. So we don't cut this until we find a bigger one.
Yep, as a rule.
You got to take it to Montana Rock Mom, right?
Oh
Or so
yeah,
you can cut it.
yeah. Drogon will feast with this one. It makes a good pauldron for now, though. I realized I actually have more rocks here that I forgot from weeks past. So here's the bonus content: another ugly rock.
All right, bravo.
That's-
Yeah.
Also, pretty agate on the other side, and it's so white it's washing my camera out. So it's
Yeah.
still ugly.
It was like the sun.
Also, since it's right here, I got to show this again. So, ugly on the outside, but then you got that nice Bear Canyon
Oh yeah.
on the inside. Yeah. Yeah. I got more in here. We could keep going if you want. I've actually been looking for this bag. I forgot I left it here. That goes all the way back to our agate episode.
You had a whole bag of ugly rocks you were looking for.
Shows how often I literally only use this little window of the house during podcasts.
Ah.
I never sit here normally. This is just a podcast zone. I think that's everything.
That's all the ugly you got.
There's more stuff in that bag. I keep going. But...
share with us more of that next week. You'll do.
Well,
it'll
actually
just be a segment. What's in
what's in
Theo's
the bag. I was gonna say, if you want to see all the contents of what's in that mystery bag, you can just go watch our agate episode.
There we go.
There you go.
That's all of the show and tells I brought for that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the big dose of
thank
ugly.
you.
Yeah, they're gross. I know.
So gross. All right. So as far as my uglies go, I have an absolute penchant for like the super gooey ugly. And so we're always going into regions where we can find the gloopy gloppy, like igneous ugly stones. And so this guy is actually from our last trip. We went looking for some thunder eggs, and this is probably a thunder egg. We don't know what's inside, but you can tell because see this.
It's got some colors.
Yeah. Rhyolite always reminds me of, and I mentioned this to you guys before, it just reminds me of vomit. It's it's like, oh, I could tell what you had. You had some beans and you had some steak, and there's like maybe some like, I don't know, pistachio ice cream for dessert.
Is that opal on the outside?
Oh gosh, I wish. There's some shiny stuff, but I don't believe so. I think that if there is, Kurt, I'm so stoked. Then I hit the stuff that I wanted to, but I don't think I quite got to the stuff that I wanted to. If I'm being like, mysterious enough. But this should have some nice blue agate inside, or as we know with thunder eggs, some of them are complete duds, and it might be full of like dead hornet carcasses.
I hope it's not. I hope it's like filled with some beautiful greens and blues and whites.
Yeah. Keep hoping on that, Stone. That is gonna be cut for the video upcoming. So
cool.
Yeah,
it's just empty. There's literally nothing.
Don't say that, Theo.
Then I'm sending it to you, and you can put it in that bag.
Okay. The bag of mystery.
Talk about it next time we're talking ugly.
I'm gonna just bring stuff home throughout the week to add to the bag of mystery. We'll just make that a recurring thing.
Yep. It's a segment, man.
Yep.
As if we didn't need any more tangents. Good news, Kyle.
Good news, Kyle.
No.
We're gonna have to
can't put it back in the bag. It's out of the bag now.
Put it back in the bag. You're not authorized. And to keep on going, I have
Yes,
an
right.
ugly rock right here that would be a leverite in most cases. But if you're finding this on the beach, then it's maybe a concretion, and maybe there's things on the inside, like
And maybe there could be something living that's like dead, but like comes back to life and you add water, right?
oh my gosh, yes. You might come across weird science experiments where you like
Bring something
yeah.
back.
Yeah, bring them back from the dead, like these little sea monkeys and stuff like that. That's just a shell. But I like, just like how the baculites and ammonites might be hanging out on the underside of an ugly rock, so you got to turn them all over. I mean, this is the scourge, I think, of every rock hound, is that like no ugly rock can be left unturned. You know,
Pretty
I think
much.
maybe that's a t-shirt also.
Yeah, pretty much.
So here we have a concretion again, but this really looks like a rock. This is not a concretion
This
looking
looks like
concretion.
limestone.
Yeah, it's a sandstone that maybe in the cast of light that I have, it might be looking a little bit different, but it's pretty much of the array of the sedimentary sandstone that we have around here that gets compressed and made into a concretion. But usually you're looking for those round rocks, like the one that I got for Kyle on the beach in a few episodes. And then you turn it over, and this whole like you see
Dang.
the seam there? Yeah, all of this is bone. It goes all the way down to there. There's its line again. You can see very clearly the cellular structure there. So that's a big
That's
bone.
cool.
That's a
Not
big
just a-
bone.
Yeah, and you know, if it's sitting in the sand, like that,
Yeah.
and just that's hanging out.
Yeah, you
how
never
would you
know.
ever know?
Yep.
And yeah, a friend of mine found a nautiloid, and it was
Ooh.
on the other underside of a really ugly piece of basalt, and they were just taking it because they wanted some basalt for their garden,
Yes.
and
Exactly.
picked it up and was
That's
like, the
Yeah.
find of a lifetime on this coast. And so anyways, that can happen. And then of course I have more vomit because I really like the projectile vomit. So here's a good example of exactly how vomity it can be. I mean, you see the big lumps, and those are probably eggs. And then we have all these little like,
From one animal.
That's an upset stomach. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
But like you were spotting before, Kurt, let me see if I can find the part that is a little revelatory. Oh yeah, there's this, you can see the shiny
Yeah.
in the light,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then that's super agate. And then there's actually another half, I guess it's right there, but
Yeah,
you can't
I
see
see
it
it.
very good.
How would you go
Anyways,
about cutting something like that?
how do you go about cutting something like that? Yeah, I know. That's why I
Like,
took it.
I would
What
do it
angle
like
do you cut that
I'd cut it like you have the thin side. I'd cut it straight through the small
This
side.
way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do it like
No, you like cut it like
this
that.
way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
like if
I'm
it's like
thinking
this,
make a cube.
like cut it like through the thinnest side.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Like long ways though.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way,
like that.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Zip.
Yeah.
That's what I would want to do too. And I don't have the heart to cut this one because it is from
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I took it as a specimen, and it's from Richardson's, and I dug this myself
Ooh,
in
cool.
the I'm trying to remember the name of the pit. It's the very farthest away. Gah, I'll think of it like I'll Tourette's the moment out later when I think of it. But yeah, anyways, those are my ugly stones. And you'll see some of, not the Richardson's one, but this guy will get cut on the next video.
Yes. Do it.
And that is that. And so I think we're into the words of wisdom, are we not?
Yeah.
All right. So
Wow.
Kurt,
Let's do
have you
that.
got some wisdom for us?
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you're out rock hounding, you may pick up an ugly rock. So cut it open, break it open, smash it open. Maybe pretty on the inside.
Yes, very
Yes.
wise. Yeah. There truly aren't any leverites. Not
No.
really allowed to say that, but it's true.
It's very true.
Thank you for that. How about you, Ed?
I have two. One being leave no rock unturned whatsoever. Seriously. Because when this was filthy and covered in silt, this looked just like every single other, like, basalty or our really bad one in Montana is porphyry, because porphyry covered in silt looks just like big agates. So you literally have to like
Porphyry.
flip every sorry. You have to flip like every single rock to find out if it's jasper, chert, porphyry, or actually what you're looking for being agates. So yeah. So
I even like porphyry.
It's
not porous.
It's kind of a
it's
love hate. I hate porphyry, but that's just because of the mental turmoil that porphyry puts you through in Montana. Because you're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Oh, never mind, it's just porphyry.
Yeah.
That will happen 5 to 10 times every single hunt where you're like, oh, that's the one. That's the nice agate. Nope, porphyry. So.
Sorry, porphyry. We still love you.
I like porphyry from other places. It's really just Montana porphyry that I despise with a burning passion. Like that stuff Agate Dad cuts is awesome.
Oh, I know.
The
That's
beautiful. And
beautiful.
porphyry are like in tears.
Yeah,
right
yeah. Yeah, porphyry's right up there with the skies. Tell you what.
Right on. Thank you. Man behind the curtain, did you have a
Yeah, I did. Kind of in light with Jared's passing. He was told that he was given the next amount of time to have left, and he didn't get to really live to that time. And it really made me think that we are not always guaranteed tomorrow. So if you have something that you want to do in your life, make that list and start doing it. Like, because you don't know. Tomorrow is always uncertain. So if you have something you want to do, get to it. That's my word of wisdom.
Thank you. It's so true. That was mine too.
Yep.
Don't wait until tomorrow was mine. And so yeah, it's just that thing. I have a box of, like, Jared sent me some of the volcano green that he didn't know what it was, and as a hardness test, I went ahead and made a piece that has a embedded piece of opal in the rock, and this was for Jared, and I was making him a box, and I like dragged my heels about getting it out. And so do it now. Like, don't wait, because sometimes you don't have tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And if you guys have some words of wisdom or anything that you'd like to share, definitely do so. Did you guys have any other comments? Anything else that's wise? Yeah, we would love for you guys to not only leave us comments, but join us over on the Discord, or send your own ugly rocks to our email. The email is in the description, and through it you can get an invite to our Discord and be able to share ugly rocks all week long, or be part of our viewer show and tell. Just hit us up on that email. And thank you for hanging out with us this evening. We do cherish every moment with you. It sounds cheesy, but we really do. We love you guys, and keep on picking up ugly rocks all weekend long, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
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 Meow.